Hello, everyone. I'm sure you've heard there's been some big news in the real estate industry. Ed Dilworth, the CEO of LookyLOO, is here today. Kind of walk us through it and how it's going to affect his company. How are you doing today, Ed?
I'm doing great, Travis. Thanks for having me on.
So, Ed, I think most people have heard by now there's a big upset in the real estate industry when it comes to commissions. Can you take kind of just a minute or two and provide everybody with a background on what's actually going on?
Yeah, so as anybody who's close to the real estate industry has heard the news and has probably been spending the last week and a half, 2 weeks managing the expectations of clients and trying to figure it out. And the basic point is that the traditional structure where the seller agent got 3% and the buyer agent got 3% and the consumer was in many cases none the wiser is pretty much over. Selling agent now, based on the ruling, can certainly get their 3%, and then the buyer agent is going to have to negotiate whatever percentage or flat fee or whatever structure it is that they decide to pursue with the buyer, and they're going to have a signed contract in place before they start showing homes, which is very different than the historical process for that.
And you have a very unique perspective on this entire situation because of your connections in the real estate industry and really the core of your business itself. What is kind of the word on the street or the feeling, the sentiment from the real estate industry right now that you're hearing?
Yeah, I mean, I think the consensus is on the, dark side of it is that a lot of agencies, or excuse me, agents are going to lose their business. They're going to drift away from the business. They're not going to be making the same amount of money. They're going to have to work significantly harder and significantly earlier in the customer journey in order to, land that contract. And so you can imagine a lot of agents not participating anymore. On the consumer side, it probably means working more on your own early in the process as you canvas, geography and, whether that's city or neighborhood or, areas. It's unlikely that you will have a relationship with a broker that early, signed, sealed, and delivered before you start, looking around. And you can imagine technology starting to play a bigger role. I mean, we've seen in virtually every industry we've ever worked with that the middle gets gutted, that whether it's spirits or fashion or music or manufacturing or whatever it may be, in most cases, you get concierge boutique on the high end and you get frictionless for, the broader market. And I think this is going to bring that to the real estate industry. You're going to see great agents offering true added value concierge service blossom in this market because they're going to be in demand and they're going to do well by their clients. And then you're going to see the rest of the market probably turn to tools the way we all use Spotify now and Netflix now. So you've got high end or at least high touch service, and you've got tools and systems providing a lot of the added value that maybe agents who were more middle market provided before.
And so your tech play is a lot about the efficiency of that process and making it easier for everyone. Does that naturally flow into kind of the future vision and perhaps LookyLOO's position now makes this a little easier in general to accomplish this?
Yeah, I mean, we would never, be so arrogant as to think that we could replace what some of our wonderful real estate partners can do in terms of servicing their clients. But for most people who are starting at the process of considering what city they're going to live in, LookyLOO is a perfect solution for that early stage in the journey. And you now have agents not able to get the same kind of return at the end of the process as they may have historically. And so they're going to be less inclined to want to do that legwork for people. They won't have contracts in advance. In many cases, they won't have 3% at the other end of the deal. And so the ability to make money off of that early stage work kind of dies. And LookyLOO steps in that situation and takes over a lot of that work. It removes the responsibility the realtor has for educating the consumer on the cities in the area in which they serve and the consumer is looking to move, educating them on neighborhoods, schools, job market. All of that is something that LookyLOO can carry the load on, while the agents can focus really on the last mile of the listings and, ideally in combination, just be a much more efficient market.
It seems to me that this tool really does, it just helps the agents out in general by taking out the most time consuming process, which is a lot of communication and explanation and just kind of checking in and participating in that conversation. They can use a platform like LookyLOO to just connect information, effective information to these clients in this early home shopping phase or this move shopping phase that they're in. And you've kind of always seen it as that play. And now it just seems like it's more valuable for the market. Am I getting that about right?
Yeah, I mean, if you cut 0.5%, 1%, or whatever the numbers are going to end up being for most agents out of their rewards, they need a more efficient way to serve a client. And in a few minutes, they can set up a move book, what we call the move book portion of our platform, and organize the cities that they believe are right, the neighborhoods that they believe are right, the school systems, the school scores, job opportunities, if that's a component, and listings that they think are relevant. And again, they can do that in a few minutes, and they can have it pre-set up for different types of customers, or of course they would likely customize for any particular client needs. And that just removes a lot of their work, so they can be more efficient and make it work on what is potentially a lower commission than they've historically received in the 3% model.
So Ed, where do you think the next few months are going? What does this mean to you, the industry, and really the next steps for your vision of this company?
Yeah, so we've been talking to our realtor partners, every single day since the settlement came in from NAR, and everybody's gearing up for July, when it'll actually be enforced. And we're just working with the realtors on what do they need? What is it that we can do within the system that helps them serve in this emerging world? And we get feedback from them on the daily. It is certainly in flux for them in terms of what the actual financial structure will be. But we are hearing, in full-throated response, what is it that they need in order to continue to serve customers even better in this world where they really needs a solution like LookyLOO that's just more efficient than the way they've been operating in the past. That's more content on cities, more content on neighborhoods, better data, so essentially their customers can get to precise locations faster. All of that goes into what we're working on over the next several months, just how to make it easier for the consumer and how to make it easier for the realtors that serve them.
Well, thanks, Ed. We wanted to keep this kind of a quick, brief update, really how it affects the industry in your eyes and really what the future is for LookyLOO. Any closing thoughts for the viewers today?
I was listening to an former U.S. government AI expert talk about what's coming in technology. And I don't think you can, disconnect the real estate market and technology shifts in general. And she compared it to the rug industry. And she said that, 50 years or whenever it was, 75 years ago, all rugs were made by hand. And then, machine systems came into place. And now some people buy rugs that are handmade, and some people buy rugs, a lot of people buy rugs that are made by machine. And I think you look at every single industry and that is happening. And I think, realtors, excellent realtors, have always adjusted to change, whether that's the shift to mobile, the shift to digital, you name it. And great realtors have found a way to navigate those changes. And, we think LookyLOO is here to help them. And we think LookyLOO is here to, provide support in a changing market. And just like, the mobile phone was probably, and the smartphone was probably despised in the earliest days of those changes, it's now probably considered the most important tool in their toolbook because of all the things that, they can do when they're on the road. And that's what we want for LookyLOO. We want LookyLOO to be a tool that they say, damn, that was a huge help to us, and really helped us navigate the changes that are happening in the market.
Well, it's just tremendous insight, Ed. And I know that you do have a crowdfunding campaign that's currently in motion. It's going rather well. Do you want to tell the audience where they can learn a little bit more if they're interested in investing? I know minimum investments can get started around $100. So if anybody wants to learn more about investing, where can they check it out?
Yeah, if the raise is on WeFunder, it's if you just go to wefunder.com and search LookyLOO, or go to wefunder.com/LookyLOO, you can find it. And yeah, we're doing the raise. A lot of it has to do with continuing to build out the move book, continue to make the process, the journey from searching for cities to the end of the move journey process easier. And so we're excited to pour the resources we're able to generate via the WeFunder campaign into that development.
Wonderful. All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks, Ed. Have a wonderful day.
All right. Thanks, Travis.